Hey guys, so I wanted to make a really quick video this week. I know that a lot of you are just sitting at home with your dogs, probably a little bit bored. As I'm filming this today, there's actually a blizzard going on outside, so we've got lots going on in the world right now. So I'm trying to just gather together some ideas for enrichment stuff that we can do inside. And since I have talked about puzzle toys already before that you can purchase, I wanted to cover different things today that you can just use with stuff around your house. So I'm going to take you guys in for a closer look at a bunch of this stuff so I can show you. Basically, I went around my house and kind of just pulled whatever I had like 10 minutes ago. So this was all stuff that I currently have in my house right now, and I'm going to show you guys what we can do to turn it into enrichment type stuff for your dog to work on. Okay, so I know you can't see my face, but this stuff is what you need to see. I have Wrigley here just waiting for me to do something. So I've got a small bag of treats. I would suggest using your dog's daily portion of kibble for stuff like this. So if your dog is not wild about their kibble, you can use just regular treats for this. All right, muffin tins. What you can do with these is put a little treat on the bottom of each tin. And then what you want to do is collect a bunch of tennis balls that you have lying around the house. I actually got rid of a bunch recently, so I don't have as many, but I have a couple here. So what you're going to do is just each one that you filled with a treat in the bottom, you're just going to cover it with the ball. Pretty simple. So I've got that amount to kind of fill of this muffin tin. But the idea being with this one is your dog actually has to get the tennis ball out to access the food inside. So some dogs literally will tip over this entire muffin tin to get the balls out of here and get the food out. Some dogs will pick up the balls with their mouths, paw at the balls. So there's a lot of different ways to go about solving this kind of homemade puzzle toy. And I'm going to show you guys later on how Wrigley chooses to get the food out of this stuff. The idea behind this is you can make little treat cubes, ice cubes for your dog. If you take a couple treats, throw them in here. You can use any of the Kong stuffing recipes that you normally use for a Kong, and kind of mix it in with a little bit of water and put them in each little individual tray here and freeze this. It's a nice little summertime type of treat that your dog can't inhale right away. They actually have to kind of work with it for a little bit longer, which is kind of nice. You can also put some treats in the bottoms of this. Put a little water, not all the way filled, but a little bit of water on just the surface covering the treat. Freeze that, and then give your dog this entire tray to work on and kind of lick the treats out of, essentially. That's another idea that has worked well in the past. Old containers. I pulled these out of my recycling bin. Your recycling bin is going to be your best friend when it comes to enrichment type toys like this. This is just a little Gatorade bottle that was used. Take the tops off of whatever you're using. We don't actually need to use the tops for that. With the Gatorade bottle, we can actually put treats directly inside of it. Does that taste good? Okay, fill it up with however many treats you want in there, and the opening in the top is actually going to be how your dog gets those treats out. This is going to be a relatively easy one because the Gatorade bottle has a larger opening than other bottles do. So you can also use a water bottle. The milk jug, you can do a very similar thing with the opening, just literally drop treats on the inside of it, and they have to work around how to get the treats out. A lot of dogs will grab this handle and like throw the milk jug across the room. Other thing that you can do, minding your dog's nose, is actually cut openings like along the sides of the milk jug to make it a little bit easier for your dog to be able to get the treats out of. So I'm not gonna do that facing you so I don't cut myself or Wrigley in the process here. Obviously being careful with where you are cutting. Okay, so pretty rough, but simple hole that I just made right there in the side of the milk jug. It's gonna make it a little bit easier for Wrigley to get the food out of that way. Paper plates. This is another good one. You guys, it's very similar concept to empty toilet paper rolls or paper towel rolls. I just don't have any on hand. Does that taste yummy? I just don't have any on hand, but you can do a very similar thing with paper plates. So what I could do with this is fold it in half, place some treats in, you know, the opening of the plate part, close that up, and then just proceed to kind of fold the ends. You don't need to use tape or staples or anything like that. You just kind of fold it in on itself, and it becomes a little bit of a puzzle for your dog to work on. Now, these are really, really old paper plates. We don't use paper plates anymore. I just kind of found these at the back of our cabinet. So, turns into kind of something like this, and your dog actually has to work on how to get the food out of there. Stuff like this, I would recommend using more smelly type treats at first, so your dog can actually smell the food in there, because it's going to be completely out of sight. So good tip for starting out with this kind of stuff. Other boxes, save the paper that comes with the box. This is actually really great material for wrapping treats up in. So I've got a variety of boxes here that I'll kind of show you of different sizes. I usually just kind of keep these around the house in different sizes for this purpose. So what you can do with these boxes is literally just throw treats in them. If your dog is brand new to this, I would leave the box completely open. Once your dog gets better with it though, you can go ahead and close up the box and let your dog figure out how to access the food in there. It's always kind of a fun activity. Placing, like crinkling the paper up a bit, not too much, tossing it in there. What you can do now is just randomly sprinkle treats into that box. Okay, so they're not all sitting on top. A bunch of them went right to the bottom, but your dog's gonna have to rustle around in here and try and find the treats that are in there. All of this stuff is just stimulating their brain. They have to work a little bit harder to find the food, just like the point with any store-bought puzzle toy. This is just a homemade one. I would be careful with this one. If your dog will consume paper products like this, you're gonna wanna supervise all of these activities. Everything I laid out here, I would not leave with my dog unsupervised, because a lot of this stuff can be consumed, unlike the hard plastic toys that we give them from the store. So word of caution, supervise your dogs when you're doing this activity, but like I said, great for a day when you have a blizzard going on outside. I have a roll of old Christmas wrapping that I was going to throw away. This is a super good substitute for this kind of packing paper that come in the boxes if you don't have that lying around. You can also take just a loose piece of wrapping, throw a couple treats in it, and then wrap it up on itself so it's like a little ball, and then you can give it right to your dog to try to get the food out of that. So super, super simple use of that wrapping. Miniaturized version, but if you guys take a blanket or a towel, I've got blankets laying around here, but I'm going to use the towel for demonstration purposes. If you kind of crinkle it up a little bit, you can do a very similar thing we did with the box and kind of hide treats in it. If you guys don't already have a snuffle mat, this is a really great alternative. Snuffle mats you can make at home. You can buy them as well, but this is the exact same activity for the low cost of $0.00. So you can kind of let your dog snuffle the food out of there. Okay, last thing that I wanted to talk about. I am crazy trainer lady and I have cones. If you have kids, you can absolutely use cones for this. Another really good substitute is plastic cups. I don't have any plastic cups in my house as of right now. We did a huge purge of our plastic cups, but you can use those kind of red Solo cups. Are perfect for this type of activity. So all you're gonna do with this one is kind of gather your treats, put them, you know, kind of under the cones in a line, and then let your dog get the food out from under the cones. And you can make it easy for them at first and kind of lift the cone as they're approaching it to show them that there is food under here. Once they make that realization, most dogs will nose the cone over or paw it out of the way. A bunch of dogs do very different things with it. Some dogs will pick it up with their mouth to get the food, so you can kind of structure it in a way that's going to be easy for your dog at first. Over time, you can make it harder by not putting treats under certain cones, so your dog actually has to sniff out which cone has the food under it and which one does not, and that they should ignore. Another really good nose rig activity that you can do at home with your dog. So those are the cones. Like I said, you can absolutely use plastic cups for that game. I just happen to have cones and not plastic cups in my house. That's probably really weird and strange for a lot of people, but that's kind of what I have. Okay, so that's kind of all of the enrichment toy stuff that I pulled for today's video. Like I said, you guys, I spent $0 on this stuff. I know that those enrichment toys bought from the store can be pricey, and the dollar signs can really add up on that stuff. So I wanted to provide you guys with a resource for just creativity and ideas for stuff you can pull around your house. You might find some other things. Drop it in the comments below what you guys find that you have not seen in this video. This is just what I happen to have lying around the house that I figured would work really well for this video. So I hope this helps you guys that are at home right now, not able to go out and do much, especially today for most people with this whole blizzard going on. It gets hard to entertain your dogs at home sometimes. And this, aside from a formal training session, can be a really good way to drain your dog's energy. This is really gonna make their brain work over time, especially if your dog has never done anything like this before. So I would recommend giving it a shot with your dog and have fun with it. This is meant to be fun for you and your dog. Make sure that you do supervise your dog when you guys are working on this stuff at home, and just have fun. I'll see you guys next week.